Hey guys, I'm Natural, and today we're doing a competitive tier list for the Set 3 Unleashed meta. This tier list will be a competitive tier list, so the focus will be which decks you can bring to regional qualifiers or other big tournaments. So, the first category are the Meta Legends. As you can see, I already put them in. Those are all the legends I would only play if I only want to get a Meta Legend and nothing else. Most of those legends have a lower power level and or a stronger replacement. Decks like Jhin, Renata, and Teemo are purely decks where you go for the Meta Legends and probably won't come top 64. It is possible, but it's very hard and you need to have luck and a lot of skill. Top 64 will be the decks where you still go for the Meta Legend, but you can also get to top 64 and get the regional invite. They're a bit stronger than the Meta Legends, but there will be only about 1 to 2 players max on each legend who will reach the top 64. Top 16 are legends that are really strong and can have a deep run at the tournament, but they're not the strongest decks in the meta. They lack a bit in power or have a really strong counter or even a better alternative. Top 8 is split in two categories, top 8 hard and top 8 easy. All the decks in top 8 I would say are the meta decks and the ones that define the meta. Those are the decks you should play if you want to have a deep run in the tournament. It is also very hard to get a Meta Legend with top 8 decks because the best players probably will be in the top 8. Top 8 hard are the decks which I think need a lot of skill to be piloted, but also have a very high power ceiling. And top 8 easy are the decks which take less skill to be piloted, but still have a high power level. So if you want a not so complex deck, but still one that's really strong in the meta, those are decks for you. Alright, let's start. First legend we have Lucian. Lucian I would put in top 64. So Lucian is not that strong this meta. I think in set 2 he was stronger because we have a lot of decks which are focused on holding, and he's very strong in conquering. I think he loses very strong against the Elder Dragon, so Aurora decks beats him a lot, and also purple decks and like cards like Starcross count him very hard. So yeah. I think you can go top 64, but I would say in the top 64 bracket, he's one of the lower ones. The next one is Kaiser, and Kaiser I will put as well in top 64. I think the meta spread right now is not really good for Kaiser. Aurora is not a good deck for her. Green decks tend to counter her. So yeah, she's like a strong legend. I would say the strongest in top 64, but I think because of the meta and she didn't get the best support in Unleashed, yeah, she won't perform that good. But the strongest in top 64. Next we have Severe. Severe I will put in top 16. I think the only version you play with Severe is Aurora. But I don't think that she's the strongest Aurora deck, and I think for her to go to top 8, you need a lot of luck, which is possible in a tournament, but I don't think it's that consistent, and I think MF is stronger, so I will put her in top 16 with the Aurora list. Next we have Irelia. Yes, Irelia is very strong still. Her deck didn't change that much. She got a bit support, not that much, but I think she works pretty well if you're good with her, and that's important because Aurora can be very punishing, but you have a lot of tools to counter that deck. So you have the Not So Fast, you have the Zonias, you have the Guardian Angel, even like cards like Flash and Starcross can counter Aurora, and I think against all the other decks she has a pretty even or even favored matchup. So yeah, if you're a good pilot, you can go really hard with Irelia. MF I would say is top 8 easy, probably the best deck in top 8 easy. Same like Severe, but just I think a bit better. Elder Dragon is such a crazy card, and she just does a lot with it. And I think if you want to just have a really good and easy strong deck, you can go for MF. I don't like Aurora. I think it's a very, very boring playstyle. But if you just want to have a easy calm run, go for MF. So the next legend is Darius. I will put Darius in top 64. I think Darius is pretty strong. He's very fast and he can put a lot of might on the board. He got a bit support in Unleashed, especially with Sacrifice, with drawing cards, which is really, I think, one of his weaknesses. I think he will struggle a bit into the strong hold decks. But he's still good into Aurora. In set 2, he had a better matchup spread, and he still wasn't like the top decks. So don't think that the matchup spread now will help him. All right, next is Annie. Annie, I will still put in top 16. I think she's still strong. We saw how Prismaticism won with her, and also in Lil get top 4, I think. So she has a lot of things going for her, but also she's very vulnerable to other purple decks. And yeah, I think you can go deep, but I don't think that red especially is good in the meta right now. So I don't think any decks with red will even go top 8. They lost a very, very strong card with Forerunner because you can't play Forerunner against Darkfrost. So I will put it in top 16. A good pilot can even maybe go higher. Let's see what Prismat will play. I think he's even going for any. And yeah. Vex. So one of the new legends from Unleashed. Also not a bad deck, but I think it's also very vulnerable. You want to hold, so you probably build one battlefield with a lot of units, and if this battlefield ever gets taken, you lose. And I think she is also vulnerable to Aurora. She has some counters like Not So Fast and Sakrost, but I think, yeah, she doesn't work like that good. Like holding is always hard, especially if you can only hold one battlefield. And that's why I think she's like a top 16. In China, she wasn't that great. And I don't think she will be that great in the West. But yeah, but the draw is good. And if you can get a good hold, especially with cards like Sona, she can do some damage. Ezreal, I will put in top 8 hard. I think he got a lot of support, a lot of good cards in Unleashed, and his ability to draw is just really, really good. He's just very hard to pilot. I think it's a deck where you have to do a lot of thinking, a lot of decisions, a lot of small decisions, and it can really like break your back if you don't play perfectly. So I think it's very hard to play him, but I think he's very good, especially he has answers for decks like MF, like Aurora decks. He has answers for decks like Irelia. He has answers for LeBlanc. So he can play into nearly everything, but yeah, it's really hard to pilot. LeBlanc. Yes, I will also put her in top 8 hard. I think LeBlanc is a really, really good deck. It's also pretty hard to play. I'm not sure if it's... Oh, I think I will put it like this. Yeah, I think LeBlanc is stronger than Ezreal. So, yeah, it's a hard deck to play. And right now, most people play the Katos Daphneal variant, which is very linear. So I think your enemy always knows what you want to do, and it's very dependent on getting on a battlefield. And if you have decks like Master Yi, or like even Ezreal, who won't let you get on the battlefield because Ezreal can just gust you and Sakrost you, and Master Yi is just very dominant with his might. This can yeah, break the whole game plan from LeBlanc. So you need to be a good player to understand, okay, which cards to keep, which cards to throw away, when to use her ability. And also the deck building in her is very, you need to be very good and really have a good read on the meta. So yeah, but she's still strong. You see in China, she performed very well. She had a lot of top 8 conversions, but not a lot of wins. And yeah, that's where I will put her. She will go, I think, at least 1 in top 8, but not sure if she has the tools to win it. Victor, I think I will put him right next to Kaiser. Victor is also very good, especially because he has a lot of tools against Aurora. But I think he loses against like decks where he can't go on the battlefield. Yeah, he's not very strong in battles, so decks like LeBlanc will always win against him because she does a similar she does a similar thing, but she always has more might, so she can always dominate him on the battlefield, and killing the LeBlanc units won't do a lot. So, and yeah, decks like Ezreal can also play around his units, just give them back or kill them with with Bellows Breath. So in set 2 he wasn't the strongest. In set 3 I think he is even worse. And yeah, I will just say top 64, one of the strongest in the top 64 bracket, but he didn't get like a lot of tools to play him, but yeah, I will put him here. Ornn is a real surprise. I would say Ornn is a top 16 deck for real. So Ornn got so much stronger with Sprite Fountain. Right now, the best deck you can play with Ornn is the Tempo Ornn, where you play like a lot of gear and a lot of units which work with the gear. Like, I don't know how, what's the name, the guy who's surfing and he comes accelerated if you play to gear, or you play the rat, which works also with the gear. When you play gear, you ready him. So he's very good tempo deck. And yeah, I think his only problem is like losing his gear, and because there's a lot of gear hate right now because of Aurora, that makes him a bit worse. But I think Ornn is right now at the highest peak he ever was, especially to Sprite Fountain, which is such a good tempo card. Yeah, I think if you want to go for the Metal Legend with Ornn and have a good run, I think it's the best moment right now. Kha'Zix, I will put into... Wait, I will put Lucian behind Darius. I think I will put him next to Lucian. His Aurora deck is not really good. I wouldn't play his Aurora variant, because in the same colors you have 2 better decks, so there's no point in playing Aurora Kha'Zix. And mid-range Kha'Zix is fun, but I think it doesn't have the support it needs, especially in the EXP department. It's still a strong deck, so I think it's more like top 64, but on the lower side. I can see one Kha'Zix coming top 64, but it can also be, maybe it's even a Metal Legend. I'm not sure. I will put it here. I will put it here because I'm not sure, but I don't think it's a really good deck. Then next we have Fiora. Fiora I will put to top 16, but on the lower side. She got good support cards. I think her hook deck is probably the best variant you can play, but it's also, you know, more inconsistent. And yeah, I'm not sure, especially against Aurora, she can lose hard, very hard. So yeah, I will just put her here, and maybe she's stronger than Ornn. Maybe, yeah, let's put her before Ornn. I think Ornn is fun, but he has also this problem with Aurora, so yeah, I will put her here. Yeah, but let's see. Then Lilia. Lilia, I will put, not sure, here or probably here. I think Lilia is really good. She's so fast and such a good aggro deck. Just going in with sprites and having tricks in blue and in green. But her problem is the how to finish a game, because she can't hold, or she can hold, but you can't hold with sprites. So that's a problem. So you often need to finish with conquering, which is not always easy, and it's like one part of the game which you can't really fully use. So she can really stomp. That's the thing. She can really stomp. She can overrun you very fast, and there are decks that are not that strong against her, but especially slower decks. Also like Aurora, she's very fast, so she can just be faster than Aurora, which is pretty good. But against like strong hold decks, especially like Master Yi, I think she will struggle a lot, and because she can't get on the battlefields. Also against LeBlanc, I think she's not that strong. But yeah, a very good aggro deck, I would say. Then Diana. Diana, I will put right next to Ezreal. I think I'm not sure. I'm really not sure which deck is better or stronger. I know that Alan is going for Diana. He's not playing Ezreal anymore. In my personal opinion, I would say Ezreal is stronger than Diana. But I would say Ezreal is also harder to pilot than Diana. They play a bit different. They're the same color combo, but they play different. And I'm not sure if the legend and the spell, the signature spell, are better than the ones in Ezreal. Because Ezreal has draw, and that's like really important. And I know Diana has a lot of draw cards in the deck, and with her way, she can draw like really a lot of cards. But yeah, I'm not sure which one is better. I would say Ezreal, in my personal opinion, but yeah, we have to see. But still a very strong deck, performed very good in China, and is very flexible, has a lot of answers, and that's very important because we have like so many legends. So you need a good portfolio on tricks just to win. But yeah, I think against like maybe against Irelia, she's it depends, because deflect, and like if you play against Yi, who has like the camel out, that's also bad. I think that's the problem with those two, that they are very spell reliant. But yeah, let's see. Then we have Draven. Draven, not sure if I will put him above Severe. I don't think so. Yeah, I will put him here. So best deck in set 2. Still very strong, but I think he didn't gain that much from Unleashed, and there's just a lot of decks that can slow him down. I think Starcrossed is, even though he can play it, a not good card for him, because Forerunner, you can't play Forerunner right now. It's a card you can't play, and it was like one of the strongest cards in Draven's portfolio. Yeah, as you can see, Fury decks I don't think are very strong right now. But yeah, he can still do Draven things. He still can draw a lot of cards, he can have a lot of might, and he can be hard to get off the board. I think against like decks like LeBlanc, he's pretty strong, and yeah, like Aurora kills him. Aurora is also very bad for him, so yeah. That's why I will put him here. I think he's the second strongest top 16 deck, but he's not like a meta-defining deck. Rexi, I will put next to Darius, and I think he's a bit weaker than Darius. just because he has to conquer a lot and we have a lot of hold decks. So if he can't conquer, he doesn't have the ability, and then he's he's worse than Darius. And yeah, still a good tempo aggro deck, but especially aggro deck. But yeah, I think if you want to play a aggro deck, you should probably go with Lilia. Next we have Set. Set, I will. I'm not sure. I think Set is really good, but his problem is also purple, so he can just get Star-Crossed, and yeah, he has like one new card which can help against that, which is pretty good. One counter spell, but if he doesn't have it, he's like very vulnerable to getting removed in hand. So, but he's also very good because against especially decks like Aurora, he can use his ability against the Elder Dragon. But I'm not sure which one is better, Fiora or Set. Yeah, I need to do more testing, but yeah, I think he's still strong. He can go top 16. Yeah, I'm not sure where to put him, but I will put him next to Fiora. I think they're pretty similar in power level, even if they play different, but yeah. Master Yi. Yes, Master Yi I will put in top 8 easy. Master Yi is so strong right now. He is like, I would say, one of the best decks you can play. His raw stats are just really, really great. He got a lot of good support cards. Rengar is good. He has a new champion unit, which is on curve, which is really, really good. His only problem, I would say, is maybe... I'm not even sure. Well, I think he's good in... He has answers for everything. So he can stop LeBlanc. He can stop Irelia. He has tools for the blue-purple decks. Aurora can be hard because, yeah, you can remove your cards and you mostly want to have like one on each battlefield and one in base. So that's perfect for Aurora. But you have Unyielding Spirit, you have Salvage, you have Gear Destruction, you have, or even like Akshan. So yeah, I think he's very good in the meta right now. And I think if you want to play a non-Aurora deck, which is strong but very straightforward to pilot, I would play Master Yi. And the last deck is Azir. And Azir, I will put also in top 8 easy. And I'm not sure if I would put him above Master Yi, but I think yes. Yeah, I think I would. Just because he is strong in offense, in defense, and he has a lot of tools against Aurora. And through the new set, he got not a lot of support, but the perfect support. So he is more consistent because he has more turn 1 plays. He has more draw, which is also really good. And yeah, I think he is not the hardest deck to play. That's why I put him to easy. You need to be good. You need to be good for all decks. Only maybe, yeah, okay, not for Aurora, but for all the other decks, you need to be good. A good player. But yeah, he's not that hard. I think if you want to have a good shot, especially into the Aurora matchups, because I think a lot of people will target Aurora, and he really has a really good matchup into Aurora. You can play Azir and have a good run. Yeah, I think top 8 will be at least one Azir. For sure. Like, it's such a great deck. And if a good pilot plays it, it's even better. Let's see if I would change some of the rankings, I think. That's okay. Yeah. No, I think I'm good. I think that's pretty much the tier list. Let's see how Sydney will work out. It's on, yeah, this weekend, I think. Yeah, on Friday to Sunday. And hope hopefully Aurora won't win, because I really hate Aurora and I don't like the deck. But yeah, if you have any questions to the tier list, you can just drop them into the comments. And yeah, I hope you had fun watching the video, and yeah, like and subscribe would help me out a lot. And have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.